There's been a lot of speculation as to why Ocarina of Time was one of the greatest Zelda games ever created. Some people don't even believe it. So, why am I here today? Well, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think it's considered, the greatest Zelda game of all time. Please keep in mind these are my opinions. So without further ado, let's get started, why don't we?
Number 5 is a reason that you youngins may not understand. You had to have lived in the era. Lucky for me, I was just old enough to experience this. I remember way back in the 90s, Ocarina of Time had just been released, and me and my dad were at Blockbuster, and he was looking forward to playing it. At the time, I had no idea what Zelda was. Soon, I found myself watching the night sky, wondering what this strange Zelda game was. Now, keep in mind I had played A Link to the Past, but when you're 4 years old, you don't realize things like this. We eventually arrived home, we popped the game in, and then there was that silence. That silence is probably one of the most memorable sounds for a gamer from the 90s. Upon that silence, you see that spinning Nintendo 64 logo. And then there it was, your first glance at Hyrule Field. The silence is mixed with that peaceful piano that plays as Epona gallops across the land. That one moment was all I needed to know how epic this game would be. An experience like this will always be remembered, each and every time you turn that game on. And that could be one of the reasons why this game is praised so much. Its presentation. Because every time you flip that switch on, that same memory of awe dominates your mind, making it feel like the very first time all over again. However, this is a very brief moment in the game, and that's why it's only number 5. In my opinion, this game has the best art style out of all the other Zelda games. Now, I'm not saying the others are bad, but there was always something that bothered me about them. Wind Waker had a very bright and colorful art style, but it was also too cartoony, and in my opinion, that ruins the adventure. Twilight Princess suffered the complete opposite. It was much closer to the art style of Ocarina, but the atmosphere was just too dark. Skyward Sword was probably the closest to Ocarina, mixing Twilight Princess realism with Wind Waker's colorful graphics. But Link looks too feminine in that game. I mean, seriously, look at those lips and eyelashes. Of course, I didn't forget Majora's Mask. The art style was more or less the same as Ocarina of Time, and there are some who say that Majora is superior over Ocarina. So that supports this theory. However, there are also people who say the same about other games, so... yeah! Number 4 is the art style. Now, let's be honest, this is certainly a good reason for people to feel that this is the best game in the series. It meant that the creators had the opportunity to be extremely creative, using all the ideas that may have been locked away in their noggin back in the NES era. It gave them the ability to unlock a creative side that they were forced to keep concealed. That also means that the player gets to experience what was once on a flat 2D screen in a 3-dimensional world. It was the first time they got to aim a bow, the first time they got to hookshot to the next floor, and the first time they got to look up at the ceiling only to see an eye staring right back at you. It was the first time for a lot of different things, and that's why this could be number 3.
my opinion, this game has the best soundtrack out of all the others. I promise you, name one area and I can sing it to you. It's just that good.
It's not so much that the music is good, even though it is. It has more to do with the setting the music is placed in. It seemed to match perfectly with the environments. The market theme is happy and cheerful, making you feel the happiness that everyone else seems to feel. The Forest Temple's theme was dark and mysterious, just like the Forest Temple itself was. And the Water Temple theme, it's like water learn how to conduct music. But like I said at the beginning of the video, these are just my opinions, and I'm sure some of you think this soundtrack is complete crap. But if you ask me, it all works pretty well. If there's any reason why I think this game is considered such a classic, it's the story. Now sure, the main story is the basic, Ganon has taken over Hyrule, so save it. But you have to look deeper and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's something much deeper in the plot that no other Zelda game has ever achieved. In the beginning, you start off as a child in your safe, secluded forest, and then you're called to go on a journey, meeting new people and making new friends, eventually proving that you are worthy of the Master Sword, thus becoming an adult, and then re-exploring the new, darkened world that is presented to you, meeting old friends that have grown up, fulfilling their adult roles, and experiencing lots of different change. You see where I'm getting at here? The forest represents any typical childhood home. And like any child, they must eventually go out in the world, meet new people, and make new friends. It's a part of growing up, eventually reaching maturity, and like in real life, things change as we grow up. Our old friends become a part of society, and that childhood charm that we used to have fades away, represented by Ganon's darkness. And upon the end of life, you face the ultimate challenge, death. And we all must face that demon someday. Only if it is defeated can we return to that childhood state that we all seem to dearly miss. It's a timeless tale filled with quirky characters and a story about a little boy growing up and experiencing life. And those are all things we can relate to. Not everyone sails a boat, not everyone flies on a bird, and I'm pretty sure not everyone turns into a wolf. But everyone was a child, everyone meets friends, everyone grows up, and everyone dies. And that, my dear friends, is the number one reason why I think this game is such a timeless tale. Hey everybody, I finished a video. Isn't that amazing? If you want to see me do a crappy review about a crappy racing game, then click the left video. If you want to see me and my friends battle it out and brawl, then click the right video. If you enjoyed this video, then hit a like button because that sure would help me. Also, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I'd recommend Facebook, I'm not on Twitter that much. Doing that will allow you to be updated with things that you might not see on my YouTube channel. Anyway, thanks for watching and bye-bye.